The whole situation between Chris Rock and Will Smith has been nothing but a Masonic theater show for the world to see, and if you read between the lines, you can see the signs of this being a Masonic ritual for Chris Rock and Will Smith both. In the initial video that I made when the situation first happened, I stated that Chris Rock is going to elevate from this situation and he's going to benefit a lot, and now we can see that he has struck a $40 million deal with Netflix, and one of the specials is already out, which I'll get to in a second. But you know what's interesting? This deal was actually made in 2016, however it never really got off until the situation with Will Smith happened. And it's very interesting that Chris Rock also announced a world tour called Ego Death. Now, if anyone is familiar with this genre, ego death relates to a rebirth of your character, especially it's referred to people that go through humiliation rituals. So now that their ego has been basically finished off, now they are considered more enlightened. Now they are above the average human being. That's why his tour was called Ego Death, because what happened to him with Will Smith on the Oscar stage was a humiliation ritual. There's no other way to put this, and you can see signs of his metaphorical display of the rebirth that he just went through by wearing all white. In the occult, the color white is associated with rebirth, but not only that, he was rocking an Ankh symbol on his neck as well, which brings me back to the point that I made in the beginning, that this whole thing was a Masonic ritual, because Masonry does involve or take from the Egyptian occult. Now, many of you may have already noticed the two red lines behind Chris Rock looking like pillars. Now, this is also not a coincidence or just a set design. Those two red lines represent the two pillars of Masonry. Now, there are many interpretations or meanings behind the two pillars. However, in one of the most simplest forms to define it would be that it actually represents the polarity aspect, the yin and yang, the dark and the light side, duality. That's what it refers to essentially. All these symbols and subtle aspects involved with the situation points towards the fact that this whole thing was a Masonic humiliation ritual, a theater show for the world to see. I, for one, never believed that this whole situation was real. I knew that it's fake from the beginning. Let's put it this way, if this really was a real situation, if Will Smith, without being planned or anyone knowing or giving approval on this, if he just went up there and did what he did to Chris Rock, I guarantee you he would be blackballed out of the Hollywood industry, the movie industry, everything. You wouldn't hear about him. He would just become someone that you used to hear about on the news. They wouldn't even give him negative press, because that's what they do when they really are trying to get you out of sight. You know, as they say, out of sight, out of mind. This is why also when you see celebrities getting criticized a lot on the news or on other TV shows or platforms, people think that the media is trying to destroy them. Not really. If the media really tries to or wants to destroy you, they take away all the attention from you. Because in showbiz and actually in business in general, attention is currency. That's how you get work, that's how you get customers, clients, and people actually come to try your product or services, or they hire you for work. So I don't believe that anymore, that if the media is trying to get onto someone and criticizing them every day, they're actually trying to destroy them. Now, if the media takes the attention away from someone, that's when you can say, okay, it looks like this person is trying to be pushed out of the industry. Remember when Dave Chappelle's whole situation with Comedy Central happened? At first, they really made a big news out of it because they thought they could still bring him back, so all of the publicity was actually gonna get more ratings and viewership to the show when he comes back. Once they realized that he's not returning at all, that's when they started acting like the guy just disappeared. And here's the thing, he came back to the United States way before his comedy specials and all of this. He was already in the country for many years, for a long time. However, you never heard of him, did you? You never heard of him. Then he slowly started popping up again. Now you can say maybe Dave Chappelle finally agreed to some things, or maybe Netflix was really kind enough to let him come back and give him 60 million or something without any strings attached. I'll let you guys think however you want on that situation, but I believe Dave Chappelle really went through it as well finally. But yeah, hit the like button on your way out. Peace.